Gesso washes are so much fun that I thought I would do it again, and this time on canvas. This is one of the canvases that I used for a demo in another section, and here it is. All kinds of colors splattered everywhere, and I'm going to turn it into a gesso wash painting. So this time it's going to be trees. I'm using my trusty chalk to draw things out. Remember that this chalk is erasable and I can change it at any time. The next step is adding gesso. I'm mixing a little bit of color in there. It doesn't show very well. I'm taking out all that beautiful color and those beautiful marks, and it's a shame, really. But you know, the end product is going to be so gorgeous that it's worth the effort. It's worth eliminating all that color. So I'm going to add the negative spaces. So I'm painting the negative space right now. For more information on negative spaces, check out my video on negative space. And this is a great exercise too to practice your negative space. I'm just adding paint, and I know it's slow to watch, but just keep watching. I'm going to slowly turn this mess of color into a forest that's very colorful, and it turns out to be a beautiful painting. At least I hope so. So here we go, we're adding part of the sky, and we're starting to see some of the trees. And more negative painting in between the branches so that I know that those lines of color are the actual trees, and I smooth out my gesso. So this is just straight gesso. I did try to tint it and it doesn't show very much here. I wanted a little bit of a kind of off-white color. Now I'm spraying with water, and I'm going to blot out some of the areas. I want the gesso to be not 100% opaque. In the other project, the gesso was opaque completely. This time, I'm going to make it semi-opaque. So that means taking off some of the gesso. And there you go. See how easy that is? So I just sprayed it with water, let it sit a wee bit, and then paper towel the rest off. Now I'm just going to tweak it a little bit, adding little spaces that I want to make sure are actually isolated. I'm going to just leave it for the moment. So here it is, all dry, and I'm going to add some ink wash. And here's my stick with the ink. I just love this stick. I love the irregular marks. See what it does? It's beautiful. I just love that part. And here we go. We're just adding marks to turn it into a more defined forest. And I've speeded up the camera so it's not so boring for you. And I'm just adding marks. See how irregular that is? It makes the perfect design. It just makes it more interesting to look at when the marks are irregular. And this stick is perfect for that. It's impossible to get a straight line with this stick. So all you do is take a branch and cut it. I think I have a video on that, so look out for it. If it's not in this section yet, it will be. I did create a video, but I'm just getting going on finishing off some of these videos that go with the whole gesso wash process. What I did is I created a whole series of videos so that you learn each of the techniques I use. So not only the gesso wash, how to use the stick, how to spray the water. I'm going to add a few more little marks, but not very many. So doesn't it look wonderful? It's a great way to use up canvases that you're not fond of, or if you feel the need to add, just spray color and paint. This is what you do with your actual canvases afterwards. Now the chalk marks that you see there all you do when everything is wet, not wet, when everything is dry, is go take a paper towel and wipe it off. It'll come off really easily. And I'm just adding a few irregular marks again, and I'm adding a few branches to make it look like a forest. So there we go. This is it. This is gesso wash number 2 on canvas. Now you can do a gesso wash and do other subjects. This is 3 figures done the same way with a tinted gesso wash, tinted in yellow. It's fairly easy to do, but look how interesting that is compared to just regular figures. Much more interesting. So this is another thing you can try. And that's it for gesso wash number 2. We'll see you in the next section.